everyone, and welcome back. We are doing a tutorial today on how to live in a vacation town. And the ones I'm referring to is the ones that come with world adventures like France, China, and Egypt. And I know that with, I think it's Enra's Traveler, I think it is. I never use it, but I'm pretty sure it allows any of EA's worlds to be a vacation home. Or not a vacation home, but a vacation town. Them are not the ones I'm referring to. I'm specifically referring to the ones from World Adventures, the ones that you cannot live in. I am going to show you how you can actually have one of those towns where you can actually live in it. So you can work there, have all the jobs that you have in a normal town, and live there. So that is pretty much what we're going to do today. Now, one of the first things you need to know when you first go ahead and do this is when you're in one of those towns, now it's been a long time since I've done this, but you can't, I don't think you can buy any cars. They pretty much, run around, I think, using taxis for the most part, or walking. Now, if you happen to have any, a bunch of mods like I do, and happen to have a taxi mod that makes your Sims pay for every single taxi they use, that eventually starts to add up, always paying. Especially me, I went in and changed the mod slightly and increased the dollar amount that my Sims have to pay to make it harder. I increased it so they could pay more for a taxi, but anyway, it starts to add up. So the first things you need to do before you can even go to a vacation home, or a vacation town, because once you're there you won't be able to, I think you can buy the cars but your Sims won't use them, I think is what happens. I think they can buy them but can't use them. However, if your Sim has a car before they go to the vacation town, they can use it. So the first thing you're going to do is you need to choose a household, or create one. It doesn't really matter what you do. Just make sure whatever house you do, let's see, I don't want to do that one, has a has a car. And I think, I'm going to double check here, I think I still have my family I had created that has a car. I think it was this one. Yes, I think, from when I did it before. So we're going to select them and we're going to put them in somewhere cheap. It doesn't really matter because we're just going to travel and move out of this town anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going to purchase that one. Now, another thing you're going to want to do, of course, your travel towns and stuff always have Sims already living there. But if you're like me and you like to kind of take the Sims you already have pre-made and and put them in instead, make sure you have obviously have them pre-made and in your bin. That way you can add them later to this town. Now with this, if you want to have one of these towns set up already to where you can easily access one of them and not have to always go through this process, because obviously sometimes setting up these types of games, depending on what you're doing, can be very time consuming. Let me make sure they have a car. Whoops, where is it at? Yeah, see, they have a car already. Yes, and he has one too. So make sure they have plenty of money. This is a family I had created. They need to have plenty of money to travel. And if you want the car, have the car. This family has the car because, like I said, I have that mod and I don't really want to have to pay all the time for a taxi. So the first thing you're going to do, I'm not sure if a teenager can, I don't know. We're going to go ahead and we're going to travel. So what you're going to do is you're going to travel once you have your family set up, and everything that you want. Okay, right there's that mod, and for the, what is it, the taxi service. Get through all that stuff. Okay, so This is where you're going to, now you can do these exact steps that I am showing you with any of these travel towns. And you don't have to increase this, okay? We're not even going to use probably a full couple hours of sim time to create this, so don't worry about how many days. Keep it at 3, make it nice and cheap for you. And I prefer my I've traveled to China once. I've never done Egypt, but I like France. I really like the town, the houses and the town and everything like that. So that is where we're going to go, and you're just going to go ahead and click accept. Like I said, and this is really easy, so don't worry about it. This is if you have into the future, if they have any kind of opportunities that relate to in the future that are going to be canceled. But I don't actually do anything like that with in the future. I just got the expansion pack just to have it, so we're going to go ahead and accept because we really don't care. Now, of course, it's going to cost you a little bit of money to travel. So don't worry about that. And then it's going to ask you, I think again this is with NROS Traveler, I believe, has you save your game. I don't normally save it at this time because I'm using, as you can see, my starter world. There's no changes that I have currently made, so I'm not going to save it. So we're just going to go ahead and hit cancel, and they will still go and travel even though we hit cancel to not save. Now my game, well, my computer anyway, it takes a while to load up any of these worlds, so we will be back here once my computer has uploaded the world. Okay, so as you can see, we are back going into our, hopefully here pretty soon, our new place of residence. So we're just going ahead and let this load in a little bit here. Now, of course, everywhere you go always has what, I don't know exactly what they call this building. It's the place where you go to stay. Anyway, this is something we're going to have to get rid of. So let's go ahead and finish. And of course, any mods that you have to do, it's going to have to, reload, which, I got my story progression and lifespan, everything's changed. And I think that's the only thing that loads up. I'm not sure. So, you're probably wondering, what is the first thing we're going to do? Well, the first thing we do, we can't obviously delete any of this because our Sims are currently living there. Now, I'm not sure if you can do this without mods or not, because like I've said in the past before, I've had these mods for so long, I really couldn't tell you, what you can without them. So basically what you need to do is pick a house. Now this is the house I had chose once before, when I had done this before to live in, and it's definitely cute. Like I said, I don't know if you can do anything without mods. In order for, you're going to have to, I use NROS, I think, yes, it's Master Controller, and it says Add Sim. What you're going to do is you're going to add your family. So, active family, you're going to choose the ones you want to live there. Now, this is their place of residence. Now, like I said, you can either continue using this family, or you can start adding others and choose a different family to play with. It really doesn't matter. The choice is completely up to you. But the first thing we got to do now, because now that's where they live, okay, let's go ahead and have them, we'll have them at least go home. Yeah, right there's that taxi service, and all the merchants are coming in, and go ahead and try to get rid of some of that. Are they going to come home? I'm not sure. But they should come home to here. As you can see, it's got the little house. This should now be their place of residence. Everything should work like it does. Now, of course, nobody's going to have a job. If they had jobs before, this is why I said, maybe not have this, or you could, I guess. But don't put any of your pre-made sims in here until after you finish the setup, because they won't have a job. There are no jobs in these travel worlds. No hospital, no police station, nothing. There's nothing like that. So now the first thing you need to do, now you can always go ahead and save at this point. In fact, I would recommend it, just because in the past whenever I've messed with adding and deleting main places like City Hall and stuff like that, sometimes my game tends to crash. So I would recommend saving this and go ahead and name it like say we're in France, so like maybe a France new starter or something. I don't know, name it something and go ahead and save it. I would definitely recommend that. And then go to edit town, because we're not going to do anything with this family right now. So go ahead and go back to edit town, and then you need to find this place wherever it is in town. It's the base camp, that's what they call it. You need to find this. Now when you click on it, as you can see, you can't do anything with this camp. You have to unlock it, as you can see, and then you can build and stuff like that. If for any reason you don't have, if that doesn't come up where you can do that, you can there is a cheat you can type in, because sometimes if that doesn't come up, this is basically what's going to tell you. If we were to try to bulldoze it, it's going to say you must use a cheat to unlock or to lock and unlock this lot for editing. If you do come across that and you cannot click on this because sometimes that is grayed out, you're gonna have to put in some cheats. So bring up your cheat menu with Control Shift and C, and usually you need to type in testing cheats enabled space and true. Okay, that usually opens up any other cheats that you want to use. Most of the time I have that turned on all of the time. I never turn it off. And then again, bring up the cheat window again with Control Shift and C, and you're going to type in believe it's enable lot locking on, I believe is what it is. I will double check. Here, let me get my phone here and I'll just double check for you. Yes, it's enable lot locking space true. And when you do that, that is supposed to unlock these buildings that are in the travel world for you. And then this right here should be clickable. So you want to click on this. That way we can edit it. What we're going to do is we're going to demolish it. See, now it's purple like the rest. It's no longer grayed out. We can now demolish it. You want to get rid of that building whenever you're going to live in one of these towns. You don't want that. So go ahead and do that. Now, like I said, they don't have anything in this town for jobs. Usually your base camp is usually a pretty good size. I mean, this one is a 40 by 40. You can also do, other edits and stuff, like, they have all kinds of stuff. Like there's a bookstore there, and what is this? A market. So, double check everywhere. Oh, okay. And just kind of see what they do have. That way you don't, add too many things if you don't want to. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you what you can do, or what you need to do if you want to have jobs for any of your Sims that you add to this town, on how to do that. So this is set. Whenever you delete it, it's always going to go to no visitors allowed. At least from what I have seen, it always goes to no visitors allowed. So you're going to want to change this to visitors allowed. That way you can add things like your town hall and police station and things like that. So we're going to go to build by. So I'm going to buy mode here, and we're going to add all of those places. Now, in case you don't know, because I know I didn't know a lot of this stuff when I first started playing the game, if you go to community objects here, when you go into building one of these community lots, it needs, obviously, it's a community lot. It'll show, has a tab here for all of the buildings This is all of your rabbit holes that you have in all your expansion packs. If you have any downloaded rabbit holes that maybe somebody might have maybe changed, like add scenery or something, I don't know. I don't know what all they can do. Anything that you have for your rabbit holes. I don't do a lot of downloading of custom things much anymore, so mostly because I don't want all the added extra custom content. I don't mind downloading houses and places if it's game only, but every now and then. So you can pretty much go through here and you can choose, at least I would try anyway, to choose buildings that would look like it fits the town you're in. So let's see, we need a hospital. The one thing I'm thinking off the top of my head, here's one. This is a pretty good sized hospital. Most of the time they are. As you can see, this one would work because it would fit in the what was I going to say? In the style. So there's different styles. That one, I'm really bad with what expansion pack that is. But anyway, I think that was that pets or something. I don't know. But for demonstration purposes, we're just going to throw in some. We already had a bookstore. So like, here's one that's a little bit smaller. Now, some of you may not know, but you can actually, with rabbit holes, you can take them past, see that? You can take it past the lot. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And the Sims can still use it. Now, I wouldn't get too, won't let you get too close because you can't, well, I guess that one just let me. I'm over here lying. I guess you can place it on top of another lot. But anyway, you can pretty much place them anywhere. So you can actually get yourself some more room. Now, I wouldn't get too close to another lot because you don't want routing issues. So we're, leave some space in between is what I would do. And usually, most generally, you need to have move objects on. I almost forgot. See, like I said, I always have this stuff on. So if I were to turn move objects off, this is probably what you're going to see. See, you can't place it anywhere except for where it says you can. So if you get in here and you're like, well, she told me I could place that anywhere, mine's red, well, that's because you need to turn on your cheat again and put in move objects space and on. Now this will let you place it wherever you want. So for demonstration purposes, so we have a little bit more room, I'm just going to go ahead and place it. Like I said, try not to get too close to another lot. You don't want too much in the way of routing issues or anything like that. So just, be a little bit careful exactly on where you place it. Now the Sims can still use it as long as you have the door that they go into, to go into the building, they can use it. You can also decorate all of this. Like you can go in and you can add sidewalks, trees, benches, whatever it is you want to decorate it. What I normally do is I actually sit here and I kind of make like a little bit of a town square. Is sometimes what I tend to do. So let's see, what else do we need? Like you need these complex buildings. You need your business building. This is not going to be here. Now, of course, you don't want to go over the road because, that'll look a little silly. It'll look a little weird. And then, let's see, where do we want to put it just for, here, let's set it down a second. Sometimes you need to position your camera a little bit differently, so just put it down and then grab it again. And if you hold control, you can pretty much put it right where you want it. I do tend to put mine right up against the sidewalk. Let's see, sometimes what ends up happening is they'll walk out here on the sidewalk and they'll come around and go this way instead of walking through like this space here. But if that's a sim for you, they can be a little silly like that. So like now we have a business complex, we have the hospital. Let's see, what is something else that we should have? And then if you are running out of room, because like say for instance we need a stadium, you know how big them things are. That looks like that came from Dragon Valley, I guess, or like 6am Field or whatever. You see how big those are? Oh my gosh, they're huge. Well, one thing you can do is go ahead and add a basement. Make the basement as big as you can, obviously, except for on the edge lot. Let's get a little closer here. Okay, let's add some there so we can see what we're doing. I would make, in my opinion, I would make it as big as you could. So, oh, my cursor disappeared. There it is. Go as far as you can. I think that's the edge. There we go. And then you could like make some kind of like little outbuilding or something with stairs that went into the basement. And then here, inside here, you can have a whole nother set of town square to help save some space. I prefer, playing in smaller towns. So like, let's see, we don't have a town hall yet. This is town hall. Like this will help you save some space. This one has like city hall, law enforcement, and military. And again, as you can see, you can place it outside of the box. And down here, it's not going to be quite as picky on routing. So I would put it all the way in the back as long as they can, access that door. And you can decorate all this to kind of make it look, with benches and things like that. And lights, of course. So if you have buildings that maybe don't fit the town, throw them in the basement. That way you don't see them, outside, when you're playing around in the town. Like a theater. So like rotate that. And pretty much put it wherever you want. As you can see, it kind of bounces around. Sometimes you got to move them a little bit to get them to go where you want them. And then like, let's see. What else do we need? Oh, like a science building? Well, that's a big building, isn't it? Well, anyway, I guess whatever building you want. That one's pretty big. I probably wouldn't only pick one quite this big. Because, rabbit holes, they don't the only time they disappear is if you get really close to them. And then you can, like, go through them. But, I would probably, with it being down the base, I would try not to have too big. But this is just for demonstration. Just kind of put it however you want. I mean, and you don't have to have them all in the same lot either. You could have maybe a few of them here in this lot here. You can maybe go somewhere else in town and make another community lot. Let's see. Oh, and then you're going to need a school. I almost forgot. I forgot a school. Let's get rid of this building a second. You'll need to have a school. So wherever you, decide to have the school, make sure you put a school in. Otherwise, your Sims will not have a school. Which the game will work without a school. They just won't have a school. So they just won't go to school. Not really that big of a deal, I guess. Oh, why is that sticking outside of the... Oh, that's weird. Look at that. What's it doing? There it goes. Maybe I had it sticking out too far? Maybe? Or maybe that was just a glitch. Oh, okay. That was just... guess that was just a glitch. So, as you can see, I mean, this wasn't the biggest lot. This wasn't a 64 by 64, but you could definitely get a lot of buildings if you were to do a 64 by 64. So once you have all this done, you have this decorated the way that you want. Of course, I'm not going to currently play in this right now, so I'm not adding the stairs or anything like that. But, decorate it how you want. And go ahead and go out of Edit Town. And again, I would save it again. I mean, after you've spent all this time creating your new town square, of course, they have their own town square here, but your no complex place or whatever you want. You can come in here and you can name it and maybe put in what all it has and things like that, so it has a name. I would go ahead and save again. You really don't want to spend all this time on this lot here and then have the game crash. So save it again would be my recommendation. Always save when you're doing this. And then once you do that, then go ahead and add more families if you want. If you don't want to, you don't have to. The town already comes with families, as you can see. Of course, she has no money. None of them are going to have money because there was never a job, any jobs here to begin with. The only jobs they had were things like this, where it had, you know, a merchant running the register. So nobody here in this town has any money. If you're wondering, well, why doesn't anybody have any money? Well, they don't have money because there was never any places for work. Once you get rid of the base camp and you get all of your complexes in, you can return to your game if you've added all your families, whatever that you want. And now your sim, let's see, they can now travel and they can now get a job. So let's see, the hospital is on the top, right? Because I didn't do anything for the basement. So join medical career. So as you can see now, he can, oh, the weather thing from Seasons, I think is what that thing comes from. Now he can get a job. So, and since he has a car, he should use it. Let's double check here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, see, if they come here with a car, they can use it. But if you get a car, they're not going to use it. They're just going to use taxi service. And like I said, that's fine. You know, it don't really matter to me if, you know, it wasn't for the fact that mine would have to pay all of the time. Now mine's just slow at loading. The buildings obviously are here. Don't think, oh well, you know, she put all those in and now they're not. See, there they are. Mine's just slow. Maybe your computer would be a little bit better. And then he can accept his career. And now he has a job. And everybody else in town, depending on your story progression, will go and get jobs. And since this is a, like, where this person, oh, he's a town loon, that's from story progression, personalities and stuff. But, you know, and then people will show up here, whoever these people are, and I don't know what the base game or vanilla game story progression does. I don't know if they will go and get jobs. I really have no idea. But if you have NRA story progression, that will push all the Sims in town who do not have jobs to one of these complexes and get them a job. Everybody will end up having a job. And this is pretty much all you need to do. You can come in and do pretty much whatever you want. And what I really like about, I don't know what the other towns, vacation towns have or anything like that, but if you like doing markets, I really like this one for a market because a town square, let's see here. Oh, if it'll load, there we go. Already has all of these spaces. Like, here's some empty places you can go and you can build your own little, maybe a bakery, or maybe sell some jams. I have actually done that, where my person grew her own fruits and vegetables and then created jams and then sold the jams. That works very well. That does not get, if you do the bakery at 3 a.m. on the clear check, it will delete everything, but the jams do not, so that makes it nice. I just love the way this town looks. This is why I normally choose this one. Everything is right here in town square, which also makes it nice. All these buildings, all kinds of stuff. So, you know, my game is lagging. Sorry about that. But as you can see, everybody will get a job, and then if you've added, you know, people to their to new houses and things like that, then you can have all your normal Sims and everybody that you know, and they can all have jobs, and you can play in this town pretty much exactly the same way as you do now. Just, you know, like I said, the only thing different really is the whole car thing. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful. I know when I was trying to do this, I did so much research, looking things up, trial and error, before I finally got it to work. Because I had seen on a YouTube video once before, somebody actually was living in this town. So I wanted to do the same thing, and I happened to be thinking, since I had done that tutorial last week, that why don't we do a tutorial this time on how to live in one of those vacation towns, because it's not, it's not like going to any other town and just moving into a house, because you can't. When you go to your phone when you first get here, you cannot buy a house. All you can do is travel. So I hope you find this helpful. Make sure you let anybody else know if they're having trouble. Have them see the video, that way they can see exactly how to do this. As you can see, it wasn't that hard, wasn't that time consuming. It was actually very easy. The most time you're going to have is adding your workplaces and designing them and decorating them, and so that'll be most of your time right there. And then what I would do is I would save this as a starter, and then every time you want to play in this world, all you gotta do is click on it, and all of this work we just did will be all done for you. All your mods, if you have any, will be all loaded in and ready to go. All your families, all your jobs, everything will be ready, and you won't have to do this again. Just save it as a whole new game as a starter, and you'll be all ready to go. So thank you for watching. Make sure you let me know what you think of this tutorial in the comments below. If you'd like to see anything else, maybe you're having trouble with something else and maybe you need a tutorial on it, just let me know and I will do my best to create one for you. Any questions, I will do my best to answer as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.